Hi everyone, here bringing you the second and final part of PCGamesN's Games of the Year are Griff and Caroline.
Exactly. So one video just wasn't enough to bring together all of our favourite games of 2018.
Oh, no.
So we're back with another 7 picks from AAA epics to thought-provoking indies.
Yeah, and we've definitely saved the best till last. Not that these are in any order, of course. So let's see what Games of the Year the PCGamesN team have picked for part 2.
I largely play Assassin's Creed Odyssey as a flirtatious and sassy mercenary of the people, but despite my positive outlook, almost every decision I've made across 75 hours of Odyssey has led to spectacularly disastrous conclusions. And that's why I love it. Rather than being an epic poem akin to its namesake, Assassin's Creed Odyssey is in fact an interactive Greek tragedy. I'm the kind of player who will do everything they can to lock in the best finale, which is why I was surprised that my journey through ancient Greece ended in torrents of blood and tears. Rather than feeling cheated though, it felt as if everything had fallen into the right place, as if I were part of a grand theatre production directed by people in togas. Choices backfired, the drama built, and I was left crying to the gods on a mountainside. Odyssey is full of overlapping and intertwined systems that generate a detailed and busy open world. But the thing that really makes the game a thing of beauty is that it's willing to go a bit mad. From outrageous flirting to fighting a minotaur, the po-faced babble of past Assassin's Creeds has been replaced with a wonderfully playful nature. And with this, Ubisoft has finally made an Assassin's Creed that beats Black Flag.
Chuchel is absolutely brilliant. In developer Amanita Design's darkly comic puzzler, you help, hinder and torment a stroppy, fizzing ball of fluff, whose acorn shell hat matches his apricot lips, as he perpetually attempts to secure his one true desire, a bright red cherry. Each puzzle thrives on weirdness. Chuchel can grow giant arms in order to turn a heavy lever, trade medals earned in a series of arcade game pastiches with a slug dealer, and transform into a spindly, four-legged spider thing by eating some dodgy fruit. These madcap vignettes represent just a tiny proportion of the string of ridiculous situations in which Chuchel finds himself, and every single one causes my 5-year-old son to laugh joyously, which is why I'm making it my game of the year. Amanita's creation is a scatological wonder of childlike imagination that smears a smile across your face from the off and keeps it there until the final scene. It's a triumph of wordless audio design and slapstick animation that's more characterful and open-hearted than many games with 100 times its budget.
Treyarch's decision to ditch Call of Duty's single-player campaign in favour of a Battle Royale mode was a bold move, but one that absolutely pays off for Black Ops 4. Blackout is the most fun I've ever had in a Call of Duty game. Sure, you can see a lot of magpieing from PUBG and its core components, but Treyarch builds on them with plenty of its own lunacy, from zombies to helicopters. But it's the blistering pace of Blackout that has me returning to it every night of the week, and playing into the early hours of the morning. The wingsuit allows you to dive safely down to the ground in less than a second, and healing while sprinting keeps you healthy on the move. Every mechanic that typically slows down a Battle Royale game has been smoothed away to allow for fast, fluid movement at all times and across all terrains. Few games empower players to be as aggressive as Blackout does.
Into the Breach is best summed up as Pacific Rim crossed with Advance Wars. It's a turn-based tactics game about fighting off giant bugs with a squad of mechs. Each level of Into the Breach is like one of those ball-bearing mazes that come in Christmas crackers. They're a puzzle in miniature that with enough patience and planning can be solved in a single faultless run. Success in both comes paired with a sense of relief, as each move towards the end carries the risk of losing all the progress made so far. This comparison falls apart, however, in that I tend to snap the toy in two before Boxing Day. Yet, after months with Into the Breach, I'm still in love with its challenge. What I've come to appreciate most about the game is its spirit of reinvention. The metagame revolves around buying new squads. Each of these new sets of mechs is built around a specialism, be that fire weapons, chain lightning attacks, or immobilizing smoke bombs. Your tactics must change from one squad to the next to succeed. This dedication to repeated recreation within its compact frame makes Into the Breach one of the best turn-based strategy games I've ever played.
There's rarely a right answer when it comes to Slay the Spire. Every decision has the potential to make or break a run in the roguelike deck builder, and a choice made half an hour ago can come back to bite you when you least expect it. It's a game that takes away more than it gives, which only makes it more difficult to explain why it's so hard to stop playing. But when things do go right, Slay the Spire can quickly transform from a cruel overlord into a combo-driven power fantasy. The aim of the game is simple: battle your way to the top of the titular tower. From slow beginnings, each new attempt to climb the spire can see you carving through enemies while barely breaking a sweat, only to see everything you've built crumble around you due to a scuffle with a heartless boss. Your first complete run will only have you primed to make the ascent again, ready to try out new cards and tactics in its CCG-influenced battles. Slay the Spire has had plenty of card game competition this year, but its dizzying highs and brutal lows have allowed developer Megacrit to stand shoulder to shoulder with some of the industry's biggest names.
Dustin's favourite game of the year is Sea of Thieves. Unfortunately, his voyage to the recording booth was intercepted by a band of skeletal pirates, and so he sent a message in a bottle to me, Caroline, asking if I could read his ode to Rare Sandbox for a video. So, here's Dustin's thoughts. Sea of Thieves has been criticised for having, well, not much to do, but what it does have is plenty of feel. It's all in the way the sun glints off the ocean, the hideous scrapes when you run your ship aground, and the desperate rush of escaping a skeleton horde with treasure in hand. The way your compass spins around in a storm, or the way you get sick after drinking too much, and the way you can blind other players with the resulting bile. It makes the game feel physical and personal. This, in turn, makes its co-op nature and reliance on social interaction work. This is a game space where you're not out to win or even make progress. It's a true sandbox, you simply just do you. That's why you'll remember your first fight with the Kraken, or the time another crew swooped in to save you from a skeleton fleet and then proceeded to demand to see your papers. Or that fight you had with 2 other crews over a skeleton fort, which ended as one team snuck away with the treasure while you fought the other losers in an empty vault, all while singing Bohemian Rhapsody for no other reason than your own amusement? Okay, so they may not be your anecdotes, but you'll surely have similar stories. Because all those bits of art and game design combine to make Sea of Thieves a place where fun stories keep happening, no matter how many times you come back to it.
Celeste is not my sort of game, and it certainly shouldn't be my 2018 Game of the Year. You see, I'm just not that good at platformers. I didn't think I could cope with the intimidating level of dexterity and patience I'd need to see the credits roll in the latest from Matt Makes Games. Actually, I knew I couldn't. But it turns out I was wrong. I could beat Celeste. Opportunities to best the insurmountable are baked into the game's design through instant reloads and mostly generous checkpointing. A split second after you've succumbed to your 100th or even 1000th demise, you'll be back in the action immediately. It's through this tough gameplay loop that Celeste builds its narrative. One of coming to terms with crippling anxiety, depression, and self-doubt. This stop-start rhythm of play is a natural extension of the story, reinforcing the sternness of the seemingly Sisyphean task in front of you. This masterful blending of mechanics and story makes Celeste not just one of the year's best indies, but one of 2018's best games, full stop.
So there you go, the very best games of 2018 decided by us and the PCGamesN's team for you.
Exactly, and what an amazing year 2018 was as well. But Griff, what happens now?
I don't know, it's a good question. New Year's resolutions, of course. You know, I might have to make a resolution to nap more, so I'm going to do that now.
Oh, that's incredible. But do you know what I'm going to try and do actually?
What's that?
I'm going to try and play and complete all of those 7 games that we just showcased before everybody starts chanting Auld Lang Syne.
Yes, do that, you have my full support.
Thank you.
As for you guys at home, stay tuned because our extra special Game of the Year award show will be up on the channel very soon.
And if you're lucky, you'll get to see Griff in a glitzy dress.
Wait, no you don't.
Well, it was worth a shot.
So why are you always trying to do that?
That's too funny.
Anyway, Caroline, before you go off into the new year, put those miniature heroes down and take your little chocolate-covered fingers and subscribe to the channel. Ring that alert bell to stay up to date. And hey, if you want to like the video, that would be great.
It would.
Yeah. We hope to see you again soon. We'd love to see you again soon. See you later.
Bye-bye.